According to reports, Nerlens Noel has filed a lawsuit against his former agent, Rich Paul, claiming $58 million in lost wages. All right, now, Noel and Paul, Nerlens Noel and Rich Paul, they parted ways in December after Nerlens Noel signed a 5-year, $5 million deal with the Knicks. But the suit alleges that Paul was negligent in advising Noel to turn down a $70 million extension with the Mavericks in 2017. He says that Paul promised him that he was a $100 million player. All right, reportedly, Paul convinced Noel to leave his agent then, Happy Walters. The lawsuit claims that Rich Paul did little to no work in pitching teams or landing him endorsements. The action also accuses Paul of not returning phone calls from the Sixers, the Rockets, and the Clippers regarding Noel's availability. What's your thought? What's your thoughts on that, Andy?
Listen, this is one of the situations where, where there's smoke, there's a little bit of fire. And I hope this doesn't bite him or the Knicks organization back. And saying this, I mean, like, I hope he doesn't, burn any bridges in his NBA, surroundings with other teams or other agencies. You never know what's going to be the situation in the future. If it's going to be, if maybe you're going to need to change an agent and they're going to be, like thinking, listen, he said that, his agent double crossed and I don't want to be in that situation any, time in my life or whatever. But then again, if I'm Nerlens Noel and I might be biased because, he's a Knick now and I don't like Rich Paul. So I think it might have a situation there, and I don't know how it's going to be legally, in the courts, because I don't think that unless he has like recordings or proof, or
right.
For example, they're gonna get the 76ers GM out there, and they're just gonna say like, listen, he didn't answer the calls back. So if he's gonna have people claiming he's right, that's really going to be a bad look for Rich Paul. I don't know if these agents even have some kind of license or stuff like that, but he might be in deep trouble. Thinking, and not only about other players thinking that he did that or whatever. I think he might even just lose the the possibility to be the agent in the NBA. Like running the agency.
Yeah.
We know that he has ties to LeBron, so that's a totally different story. But people always say that maybe he was like protecting LeBron from playing versus Nerlens Noel. I don't think Nerlens Noel is that kind of a stature guy that LeBron was afraid of him and didn't want to be playing versus him like 3 or 4 times. And the difference is when he goes to the East, he's going to be playing only 2 times a year.
Right.
I don't think that's the whole difference thing. But the numbers and the salaries and the wages, that's a huge difference, right? Sometimes players gotta gamble on their careers. They sign 1-year deals for cheap, for less money, and just to get the next season a bigger contract. We don't know the other side of the story, right? Rich Paul might be saying like, listen, I told you, if you're gonna ball out, you're gonna get that money. If not, you didn't do it or something like that, so you didn't get the money.
Exactly. And that's where it's tough. That's where it's tough because in one hand, as an individual, you can make the decision. You can tell them, look, just sign the contract. I want to get the $70 million extension. Sign the contract. Or you can take the advice of the person who's supposed to be the professional, right? Yeah. Who's supposed to have the connections, who's supposed to know what teams are thinking. This is their expertise. But I think anytime you take the advice of, I don't care if it's a therapist, if it's you have a financial advisor, it always comes with a disclaimer that this person could be wrong. You're just trusting that this person has expertise. So how do you prove negligence if he wasn't returning phone calls, I think you can prove negligence in that manner, right? Or if he wasn't making phone calls, you can prove negligence in that manner. For him saying, you're going to get $100 million, I'm going to get you $100 million on the market, I don't know. I don't know how do you prove that negligent? I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Same, but it's like you said, it's like Jerry Maguire. Just show me the money, right? If that's good, the money's going to be on the table, and I'm going to have the choice. Then you did your work. If it's not on the table, either you didn't do the work, or I underperformed, right?
Right.
Or it's just a situation, like we said, that like teams are capped out, whatever, and next season might be something open. So you got to risk that 1 year of playing for a little bit less money.
Yeah.
We saw players, gamble on themselves and win, but we saw many players lose out on that. And having other things than money on their head, on their mind first, they lost out because they got injured, like DeMarcus Cousins or guys that didn't took those huge deals, even bigger than Nerlens. But at the end of the on the line, it's still I think it's still on Nerlens. He should just if he wasn't happy of the work of Rich Paul, just call him individually, right? And listen, ask him, did he call you? Because I'm interested. Just I don't know what's the offer on the table,
right?
And just burn your engine, right? It's 70 million, Sim,
right?
For that kind of money, bro. You could get a burner on the bodega and call someone.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I listen. Look, for $70 million, I'd have been on the phone all day trying to figure out, is he doing his job or not? Bro. Who is Dennis Schroeder's agent? Because Dennis Schroeder's in that same book this season, this off season. The same exact thing. He turned down an $80 million extension from the Los Angeles Lakers. Now he's making what, $5 million with the Boston Celtics, something like that.
Sam, I'm going to tell you that if that's Rich Paul, bro, he's not going to sign even a rookie next year.
Oh my gosh, that would be. I'm going to look it up right now, because if that's Rich Paul, that could be some proof that Nerlens Noel has. If I don't know how far it would go.
I think Schroeder has a European-based agent though. I'm pretty sure about that. But on the other thing, I don't know if you know, the only player that Rich Paul represents from the Knicks is who?
Who?
Jericho Sims.
Oh yes, that's right, Jericho Sims.
So yeah,
that's right.
And I'm gonna plug a show now, Ero's Die Hard Knicks podcast. I heard it there. I didn't look it up myself, so go to the last episodes and watch him. Fire, I promise you, fire.
Yeah, I did see that it's Jericho, that Rich Paul is Jericho Sims' agent. I did see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I think, for Nerlens Noel, he may be spending more money than he gets in return with that lawsuit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, or maybe he's just fighting for the situation, right? For the rookies to know that these kind of things happen. I know they got these programs before they hit the NBA to look out for this kind of red flags from agents, from everything around the league, right? But listen, that's why you have families, even friends around you that are gonna give you tips. But exactly. The last and least decision, it's you having that pen in your hand and signing that deal.
Right.
So you got to think for yourself first, and then for the rest of the world.
Right. Yeah. No doubt about it. It ultimately is going to come down to the player.